Hello YouTubers, welcome back for the third portion of my PLL videos. Today I'm going to be doing the A-Perms. So there are two different A-Perms. There's the AB and A, or AA and AB, I don't know exactly the differences, but I actually think of them as basically the exact same alg. Because really it's just, one alg is just the inverse of the other one, and vice versa obviously. So I always think of this one as the standard one. It's also the one that's slightly quicker. And so if we look at this one, this alg right here, forward, will turn itself into this alg. And this alg forward will turn itself into that alg. And vice versa. That's how inverses work. But so let's go ahead and just get down to the fingerings, but I want you guys to know that I do this A-perm from all 8 angles. And by that I mean that there are 4 possible angles I could run into each of these perms given any previous OLL. I could run to this permutation here, where the block is in the left. If we track this little 2x4 block here, we could see exactly what I mean. The block is in the left, the block is in the back left, or sorry, the block is in the front left, the back is in the back left, block is in the back right, block is in the right. Okay, so I can run into that same alg from all 4 angles. Now, it still has and can be executed with the same alg from here, but why do a U2 when you don't need to, especially if mirroring that alg is actually easier? And I can sub one all of these from all 8 angles. Now, I maybe not always do it for some of the one or two of the more awkward ones, but still, it's not worth doing a U2 and then another AUF possibly, when you could just do it from that angle and then AUF. So. And as you'll see, these are very quick algs. So let me just go ahead and get to it. I'll start with this one right here. This alg is one of the few algs that actually has a regrip in it for me. And what I do with this one is it's very important that your hands stay firm when you're doing this. So the right hand is never going to let go of the right face, and it's going to stay in home grip. Home grip, of course, being this grip right here. So this right hand does nothing. It's only the left hand that needs to regrip for this alg. And when I regrip here, what I'm doing here is I'm actually going to do a regrip and a cube rotation at the same time. You can just regrip and then do the cube rotation as you do it. That's what I do. But for simplicity's sake, you can think of it as 2 separate things. And what I think of this is you're basically going to make your front, what was your front, now your top. And that's how we're going to execute them. Move this out of the way for a sec. And so when we put our fingers on here and regrip, we're going to make sure that our thumb and our middle finger are covering the little holes there, or the little pivot between, or the little crevice that meets between these 4 stickers and these 4 stickers. And the reason for that is we have a 2x4x3 block that is not going to move. This entire block, will not be altered by this alg. You can see it because it's already solved as it is. And the reason is also we're just solving corners when we're doing this. So I want to keep that as firm as possible, and if I put my thumbs over those crevices, they won't move. So that's what I do. And I'm going to start here from home grip. It's pretty simple. The only real trick to this move, aside from the gripping, is to make sure when you do your D2s, which I'm going to really quickly demonstrate the alg, to make sure that when you do your D2s, they're done ring finger, mid, or pinky finger. Ring, pinky. Now, I've heard a lot of people make arguments that you should do it ring, pinky, or sorry, pinky, ring, or just ring, ring. But if you think of it, when we do our U2s on the top here, what's the best way to do them? Well, at least from experience has taught us, and I definitely believe it to be true, you want to do your index and then your middle. And the reason for that is because you don't want to have to do index, then flick back and do your index again. The same reason why in all my other perms I mentioned this as well. But when you're doing U2s, in particular, when you follow through with the first finger down your hand, then the next one right after it, so that it's a fluid motion. Well, the same thing should be done here. This finger and that finger isn't really a fluid motion. This finger must pull in and then pull that one in. It makes much more sense, and also if you look at the way you're holding the cube, it makes more sense to do your ring finger first, because it sits right on the D face all the time. That's how you hold the cube, right? Where are your ring fingers? If they're holding them the way I do, you hold them with them right on the D level, D layer. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it from here, and it's R2, D2, ring pinky, RU R prime, D2, RU prime R prime. Try again. Ring pinky. And at first when I tried this, I was really not very good at it. I was very uncomfortable with it. I used to mess up often. But now, after a lot of practice, I realized that I was wrong. At first, I thought it wasn't better. I used to just ring because I was really lazy and didn't want to learn. But it wasn't until I practiced this for a really long time, and it took a couple of days of just like sitting there doing it. I would sit here and I would do ring pinky, ring pinky, ring pinky, ring pinky. Because if you want to be able to do it from all 8 angles, you need to be able to do both hands, ring pinky. But now I'm very happy I did it, and I hope you guys will switch to that as well. I believe most of the fastest people do this, and I'm almost certain Felix, one of the fastest, if not the fastest, although he does have the records, keeper in the world. So yeah, and let's go over this one more time. Hands stay firm. R2 ring pinky. R you firm dinky. There we go. The other one is just the inverse of it. So with the last one we started with an R2. Now we ended with an R. With an R, U, R prime. Now we're just going to do the inverse fit. R prime, U, R prime. And we start at the same grip, hold the same places, and we do the same D2. It's just the different out, basically, but held in the exact same way and done in virtually the same way. Again, one more time. There's it a little bit faster. I'm not trying to go too fast here. I just wanted to really quickly reset it. So yeah, R prime, U, R prime, D2. There we go. You see, the great part about this Alg when you do it is that you never need to let go of the cube. And the way your right hand ends, you can always do AUFs still with your U's or U2s. And if you do have to do a U prime, you can just push or something like that. Pull, push, like that. So, very nice. Now let me quickly demonstrate how I do it from all 8 angles. So, when I were to have it from this angle, I want to show you guys something, because this is the way I look at the cube. Let's see. There we go. If you realize here, this Alg right here, these two Algs are the same here, right? If you look, actually, this Alg and this Alg, this is just me rotating the cube, actually look very similar. If you look, this Alg here, that was once where the headlights were facing away from me, if I simply rotate it to the left, they're actually facing to the side again, just to the left. So this is just the left-handed version. Cube's not very great. That's just the left-handed version of this Alg right here, the first one we did. So this is how I actually recommend getting your first 2 angles, if you will. So before, when we were executing it, this little block was in the far left. Now we're going to toss it to the right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to find that it's just going to be the exact same Alg, just with the left hand. So we just mirror everything. Put your right hand thumbs the way your left thumbs would be, and so on. Starting here, R2, D2. The exact same thing. Ring pinky, up, up, up. And the same is true for the inverse of this one. Left-handed. Now again, at first it's going to be slow, but they get faster, trust me, okay? Now, if you have it for the rest of the angles, the rest of the angles are basically where the block is in the back 2 squares. So if we're looking here, this was the same one we just started with. And with this one, the block was in the front right. And with the other one we learned, the block was in the front left. Well, now they're going to be in the back left and the back right. When they're in the back left or the back right for each of the Algs, you're always going to regrip to the top. Now, this is a mistake a lot of people make. They try and do it from the bottom. I find this Alg much easier, and it makes more sense because you use the same finger tricks if you just regrip to the top. So, there's the first one here. And basically, if you look at this is just the left-handed Alg, and it's performed in the exact same way, but just done with the right. So again, keep my hands in the exact same position. Right hand doesn't leave. Left hand comes up here and holds the block now up here like this. R2, D2, R, U prime, R prime, D2, R prime, U, R prime. Okay, that was that Alg. And the other one is just the inverse of it. So here we go. From up here. So you see when I do my U prime, I obviously slightly slide my thumb down for that one. But yeah. So that's the same thing. It's just the same Alg, mirrored from different directions. Practice it. You'll get it down. Trust me. And the same is true for the left angle as well. So the back left version of this right here is now just the equivalent of doing it with the left-handed one. Or with doing it the right-handed way, where left hand, the left-handed one, where your left hand is going away. So now your left hand is the one holding it in place, and this right hand again is the firm one. L2, D2. It took some practice, but I got it down. And you guys will too. And just for the sake of it, I will really quickly do the other one, which is this one right here. The inverse. It's really simple, very quick out. I hope that guys helps you out, or I hope that helps you out, guys. Sorry about that. And please rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you.